Damonte, what's going on? I really quickly wanted to give you a webcam sort of viral instructions on how to run the small groups after the Invisible Children documentary. Alright, so this is the way it works. First, we get everyone together and we show the documentary, obviously. The next portion, after the documentary, there's some additional material and videos on how, like their bracelet campaign, Schools for Schools. Some of it you might, I don't know if you have access to get on the internet right there on the screen, but those are some things. So after the video, get up and say, hey, we're going to break up into small groups, but to give you more information on how you can get involved, Invisible Children has so many different programs for schools and students just like you. Here's a couple of them. Bam! We show the video on the bracelets, on Schools for Schools, and all that jazz. Then we break up into small groups. Each small group is, 5 to 10 people with a small group leader, which I'm assuming is you guys. We're going to pose pretty much like 3-4 questions. Question 1 is what really stood out to you? Question 2, how do you think you can make a difference? How can we make a difference? 3, how does this video relate to the rest of the world and to my life and to our surroundings? So going back, question 1 is what stood out to you in the video. The purpose of this question is to get everyone sees different things, everyone points out different things, but it's just a good recap. These are the questions that when they think about this a month from now, what are they going to remember? Are they going to remember the drawings from the children? Are they going to remember the crying of the one child? Are they going to remember the end where he says, don't forget about us? Are they going to remember the guy that can open the beer bottle with his teeth, or when they burn a rattlesnake? All these things that they might say. Now when someone says something, try to add to it and be very positive, so that way more people with ideas feel inspired and encouraged to say something, because we'll have a lot of people that are thinking of your questions, but they're afraid to give answers because they feel that they're going to be judged. So make sure every time someone gives an answer, add to it. You know, like if someone says the drawings really stood out to me. The group leader then says, you know what, yeah, it wasn't amazing on how the first thing that they think about when they're asked to draw something is murder. Right? What else did you guys think about? Boom, and then that way it starts funneling. Then next question: how can we get involved and make a difference? Now, notice at the end of the video they do address on how they can get involved. And the first thing they say is creativity. The second is time. I believe those two might be switched. But the last is money. So these ideas, I don't want money to be the focus. I don't want it to be, well, we can all give $10. You know, no, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for ideas that we can tap into their creativity, tap into their time. That's what Invisible Children wants. They want people to take the time to spread the word. You know, can they post MySpace bulletins saying, look, you guys, check out this organization, screen it in your school, MySpace, Facebook, YouTube. For example, one of the ideas that Minogue came up with was that everyone in their school pretty much goes to the soda machine and buys soda. That's something that so many people do every single day. They probably sell 50 to 100 sodas a day sometimes. And so what they said is, well, how much does a soda machine cost? What if we could raise the funds to buy a soda machine, except 100% of the proceeds go to Invisible Children? Now, when someone goes and purchases a soda, they're sort of interacting with the Invisible Children cause, and they feel good about it. So that's taking, for example, someone that's already going to buy the soda, but it's going to support a good cause, so it's not any additional money out of pocket. They could do MySpace blasts. Those are the type of ideas we're looking for, and they should come up with some pretty good ones, I'm sure. So the first question was, what do you remember? The second one is how to get involved and make a difference. The third one was, how does this relate to my life? Now, with that one, this video does certain things for individuals. It makes them relook at their life and think, wow, maybe my life isn't that bad. Now, some people that are going to be watching this movie have gone through abuse, rape, verbally abused, broken families. Some have had heavy drug activity. Some of them have been in great families. But the thing is I want them to look at their life and be like, you know what, there are people out there that have it worse than me, and I'm in a position to make a difference. And that's what we want, is to see if someone says, wow, this relates to my life because I can relate to the violence, or I can relate to this movie I saw. And the last question, how does this relate to everyone else, like in our society? What you'll notice, and make this comment, that the violence going on in Uganda, obviously it's severe, but the same thing is going on in Darfur. It's going on in Iraq, Afghanistan, India. It's even going on in the United States. In the United States, there's Bloods and Crips fighting for each other, recruiting children to join their gangs, ripping them from their families, right? The same thing's going on here, just in different forms. So this movie is to open, the goal is to open their eyes, to what's out there and how we can get them to sort of verbalize it so they can, really examine it. Now, if you guys ask questions and you're not getting answers, don't worry about it. Sort of answer their questions for them. Maybe, this relates to my life in that X, Y, and Z. Or if no one's answering, just move on to the next one. Now, at the end, get all the small groups, wrap them up. Maybe each small group should take maybe 10-15 minutes. It shouldn't go too much longer than that from my experience. Then one of the main leaders gets up and says, okay, what really stood out in the movie from your group? What stood out in the movie from your group? And then as a group, maybe come up with one thing that everyone really agreed that's like, yeah, that one really stood out to me. And some of the groups might have similar things. Then ask them about some of the ideas on how they can make a difference, and see what people say. So with that, I'd also like to tag on, say one of the ways we can make a difference, it's not for Uganda, but for children in Africa, is the Shoeless Walkathon that's coming up. And we should hopefully have some sign-up forms on the Think Kindness website. But what else? I believe that's it. So, yeah, all right.